But because of the message, a special family is going to come my way, she trusted a much deeper sense that there is something here. That dog became the boy's lifesaver, his shadow, his everything. He would follow the boy around the pool, making sure that he didn't slip or fall anywhere. He would alert the mom 2 minutes before the boy woke up because he often had terrors when he woke up alone. So the dog would make sure the mom was there every single time the boy woke up from his sleep, from a nap, from everything. And this is the power of animal communication, where we really tap into a much deeper knowing that is actually existing within all of us, and we bring it to consciousness, and it illuminates our lives, that we can find connections, we can create peace in relationships, and we can truly evolve our souls as they wish to evolve to their full potential.
Hey, welcome to the Strange and Mysterious World, Season 4, Episode 15. Tonight's guest is another homegrown local. Her name is Kate Muller. She has a BA in Fine Arts with Anthropology from the University of Cape Town, right in your alley there, Will. She is an advanced field guide, a trust technique practitioner. But the reason why she's actually on the Strange and Mysterious World is because she can communicate with animals.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? So I'd go to my dog and I'd say,
she'll have a good conversation with you, eh?
yeah, it's like, boy, why did you piss in the house in the corner there? And he could like come back and say, like, uncle, you were busy watching that box on the wall that you didn't even pay attention. I've been asking you for ages to get out.
Oh, he was just like, screw you. Yeah, cool, man.
No, cool. So yeah, let's the animal talk. It's going to be very, very cool, man. That's
okay. Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
Oh, we are?
Here we are.
There you go.
Hello, Kate.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
How's it going? This is Lee.
Hello, Kate.
Hi.
The other host.
The other
Nice
host
to meet you.
makes it sound alien.
Well, I mean, I don't want to say co-host because then it's like, what are you? I'm the better host and you're the little host, or what? How do you? Are we both hosts? I don't know. But Kate, thank you so much for coming on here, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime.
So you see, you've got you've got a BA and all sorts of things there. But obviously now the reason why you're on Strange and Mysterious World is your communication skills with animals. That sounds very, very fascinating. So how did that happen?
A workshop, a book, the normal way people get into these psychic experiences.
Yeah.
So take us from the beginning. Like, how did you get even interested in the book or the?
Well, I suppose I was always interested in the more holistic and alternative practices from the beginning. My parents, especially my mom, were very open-minded. And so there were lots of interesting books on the bookshelf. And to tell you the truth, I think the first alternative book I read was the Celestine Prophecy. And
yes.
that really opened my mind to things, especially the chapter about talking to plants. I mean, everything in me just went, wow, this is reality. This is actually how the world works.
Yeah. That's
and then
Redfield there. That's surname Redfield, that guy that wrote that book.
I think so, yeah. And then you go back to normal reality and you don't actually know how to do it or how to live in that world that he talks about. And so then I started really pursuing that, especially from when I left school. I pursued happiness and studied lots of different spiritual techniques and philosophies and modalities, and then discovered animal communication and just went, wow, this is awesome because it's so simple, actually. Okay. Yeah. Really.
So just to bring back the book story, did you read any of the other, because the Celestine Prophecy was the first one. There were, I think, another 2 or 3 books thereafter.
I didn't actually, no.
She's, I mean, my daughter, like, we've got hamsters, birds, tadpoles, fish. I mean, I don't feel proud about having all these animals in cages and that, but she really wanted them, and I can't say no to her. And
Well,
so,
that's been the most fascinating thing as a communicator, and then really talking to animals and asking their opinion. We say like love makes the world go round, and it really, really does make the hugest influence. I remember talking to a goldfish, and this goldfish just
yeah.
felt so special. Yeah, he could have done with a little bit more entertainment in his bowl, but he really showed me how fascinated he was sitting on the doctor's desk, like listening in on all the consultations.
Oh wow! So you knew what was going on.
He knew what was going on, but also he loved the woman who came to feed him and speak to him every morning, which wasn't her, and it turned out to be her secretary.
Oh wow!
So did
Jeez,
you
So,
communicate?
that's
Sorry, I couldn't
amazing.
find the bloody books, but did you communicate with a goldfish?
yes, it was my first and only time.
Okay, but now so how does it work? So can you hear voices in your head?
Absolutely.
Really? Yeah. Okay. So it's like you're becoming don't speak too loud because I will lock you up in Grundakis, or what's the one in Peter Maritzburg? What's that one? Well,
It's great. Sometimes I can have multiple lines going, literally.
Jeez.
If
So
I
how do you
speak,
know if it's like that? If you come to my house and there's a tadpole and the fish next to it, like how do you know if it's like a fish or a tadpole?
oh, right. You learn to tune your dial. It's like if you think of an old school radio, like what station are you tuning into? And
Yeah.
so basically what we're doing is we are activating and then refining and empowering our intuitive senses so
Mm.
that we can experience direct telepathy, which is the conscious two-way communication between two beings.
okay.
So you can do this between people as well.
Absolutely. I don't practice too much with people, but it does come in handy sometimes when
So
you're
Oh
tell me,
trying.
wow.
when you're speaking to animals, the language, does it come across almost like childlike? Because I'm assuming they wouldn't have the vocabulary that we use.
Oh
Or
no. No,
no?
no, no. I mean, this
Okay.
is the beautiful thing.
Okay.
It's not just mind to mind, it is really heart to heart and soul to soul. So we often look at animals and we look into their eyes and we think, oh my gosh, like who really am I in relationship with? There's a wisdom that many people connect with, which is both felt and sensed, both through just the presence, but also through the role many domestic animals play in a person's life. And animal communication helps us really access what that communication is happening. And the more we talk with animals, the more they have, you want to call vocabulary. So I love it. People who talk out loud with their animals and who really engage with them as thinking, feeling beings and talk to them as if we can all understand each other, even if they don't fully believe it, but we're just talking with our pets. Those those animals, I can have long running conversations with them because they're used to being spoken with. For other
Wow.
animals, it's more of a sensed experience. It's a felt experience, images, and just a knowing inside of what's being communicated. But equally, that can be you can have an animal who you talk with a lot, but their language on the energetic side might be more of a felt, sensed exchange as well. Yeah.
Sure.
Jeez.
Okay.
So let's go back again. So you got the books off the shelf, you read that one, you got excited, and then you said you were trying to find happiness, which
Yeah.
I wonder if you found that, because I've been also been looking for that. I think everyone's looking for that. That's how we all messed. The whole world's messed up. But like, yeah, did you manage to find the happiness firstly?
Definitely been finding more and more as the years go by. And I would consider myself a pretty happy person. And what I loved about animal communication is that it is based in getting grounded and centered, like trusting in that like the world is more than just this physical matter, i.e., it takes us into a more spiritual and metaphysical reality, that there is soul. And I think that is one of the big things that creates unhappiness in the world, is the soullessness, is that we don't have, many people do not have a system of relationship with the world of spirit, and that we can engage with others beyond just people, that we are reconnecting actually with all of nature through talking with animals, because we are tuning into our inner senses, not just our outer senses, which makes us tune into ourselves more at the same time.
Yeah, for sure. Very well put.
Yeah.
I think, that's what we're all really seeking at the end of the day, is that connection, even with ourselves or with the universe. And that's missing through this materialism that we've just been brought up to say, like, no, there's no consciousness other than what we produce with this materialistic stuff around us, and that, and that's also probably one of the biggest causes of why we're so depressed and why we're in such an existential crisis, fighting each other, killing each other, angry. So that's great. So we just need to speak to animals, and then so how do we do this? How do we save the world?
So before you do that, so I'm assuming you go through like you got to prep yourself prior to it. Is it like a meditative thing, or can you just do it straight off and just start talking? Say, hey, you
absolutely can. Communication is happening both consciously and unconsciously. This is the big thing to realize, is that communication is not just the spoken word. Communication is everything. It is your body language, the spoken word, and so importantly, it's the energy that you are putting out. And this is between humans as well. So with animals, because they're not speaking English, they are reading our energy a lot and learning to tune into us. So what we talk of as intuitive interspecies communication is this energetic component that's exchanged between beings, different individuals. And it consists of our thoughts, which includes the images that we make in our mind. It includes the emotion that we're feeling in our body, and the words that we're using in our mind. So you want to make sure, like if you're sending out information, that you're congruent, that your thoughts, your feelings, the images in your mind are the same. So if you're asking a dog to be calm, but you're really uptight and anxious, that the dog is overexcited, the dog is actually just receiving more anxious energy, which is going to make it even more excited. It's not going to respond to the calmness that you, even though you're using be calm, that word. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I've noticed that when, because I got like a bit of a germaphobe problem, and it's obviously from anxiety and that, but like a dog, I don't like dogs like touching me with their noses. So like but the thing is, when I'm in a house with a dog, the dog, if there's 6 of us that enter the house, the dog will come and it'll put its nose on me and none of the others. But then I'm like trying to like dodge the dog, and like trying to, but and then it'll just carry on, like it'll just want to be like, it'll just be interested in me. And then it's like I'm thinking, well, why is that? Because it can see that I'm nervous.
Potentially. I mean, there could be a number of reasons, for different individuals. I mean, it might be that they are trying to convince you that we are lovable and likable.
I mean, I love dogs. It's just, I don't want them to touch my...
Well, there we go.
That's what also, it bugs me because...
you love them. So you're putting out that feeling, but at the same time, you're going, no, don't touch me. It gets confusing. So the dog is going, hey, dude, but you love me. Talk to me.
But it's also so funny because it's supposed to be the animal with the best smell in the whole animal kingdom. So like, if I walk in the door, it could smell me from the other side of the room. So why must it come and put its nose on me? Like, it's like, but dude, you can smell me from like there because you got the best smell in the world. Why do you have to put the nose on me? It's just like always bugs me.
So that they can get the full information package.
Yeah, don't ever come to my house, Will.
So this is another thing. There's nothing wrong with saying don't or no. It's the way we say it. So we're saying don't sniff me. What is the image that's coming up in your mind?
Like, I just want to wash my hands.
It's probably, if I say don't think of pink elephants flying, what is the image that pops into your mind?
Pink elephants flying.
Yeah. So it's very difficult if we say don't do that. You need to be very specific in terms of imagining what you actually want. Hey, dude, give me some space. Or like no sniffing, and really create a very clear, like no is a feeling of a stop sign, just space, no. And this is how we can be clearer in how we are talking to animals, because can they hear all of us? Absolutely. It's just that most people are sending out very mixed messages because we're not congruent. We're not focused and present in how we speak with animals. And we're thinking behind the scenes that they can't hear us as well. So that also creates a whole bunch of static in the energy field.
Oh, wow.
So now, if you were starting off, how would it work? So I mean, would you just go to your? I've got 5 dogs. So would you just go to your dog and say, "Hey, Demi, tell me what's wrong, babe," and then would you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then actually just open your mind and your heart and be present to what thoughts, feelings, sensations, images come to you. Okay. So this is how because we sense each other, especially our animals in our home, of especially if there's something wrong, what's going on for you. But by asking a question, we really open the door for more interactive and more direct and more conscious communication about things. And it might come in the moment that you ask the question, it might come later. So this can be 2 things. A, your mind might not be in a receptive state. And when I say mind, I don't just mean the brain, I mean your bigger mind that really is your whole self, your whole being. You might just not be receptive enough at that moment. You might be distracted. So then you're going to get the message later when, like those random thoughts when you're cleaning the dishes or driving the car, the answer pops in, or while you're doing a relaxing activity.
Yeah.
Or it might be that your animal actually needs time to think about things before they're ready to talk with you.
Okay. So now, how is this your main focus in your job? Is that what you do? Is that like your
Yep.
Really?
This is what I do.
And how busy are you?
Very.
Really?
Could be more.
That's actually pretty cool.
But
so
do you also give a course though?
Yes, I do. I love teaching as well.
So now, how do you? So somebody phones you and says, "Listen, so why would somebody call you?" So what's the is there? Yeah.
All sorts of reasons. So it could be that there are behavioral issues happening and they want to resolve it. This could be something that's just started. It could be something that's been a long-term issue and we need to unpack and really change the behavior to a positive expression. Also with health issues and understanding. So as a communicator, we don't ever diagnose or prescribe medication. But what we can do is that by talking with the animal, we can understand how are they actually feeling. We can energetically tune into their body and feel which areas of the body are asking for attention, what organs are needing help or attention. Or maybe, ill health is not only physical. There's a lot of it is emotional trauma or distress that gets trapped in the body. So in some cases, there is emotions that need to be worked through. Maybe it's trapped grief or depression or unhappiness or anger about things. And that can deeply liberate the physical body then when we remove those stresses by bringing things to consciousness, talking about them, doing many different forms of energy healing techniques with the animals and the people to clear things up, then the body can heal itself. Yeah. And also, often if people are changing, there are big changes in their life, whether it's moving house, moving overseas, changes in the family structure, moving horses between different yards, then we can really talk with the animals and really say, okay, guys, this is what's happening. This is what it's going to look like, so that they're prepared. So when moving day comes, everybody can be so much calmer because they know what's happening. There doesn't need to be stress and drama and tears and chaos. It's been incredible how easily with communication, so many of my clients, their animals can make really, really big transitions and adjustments. Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, I suppose it makes sense because I mean we're all of a certain frequency and vibration, and that's just what it is. Everything in the universe is frequency and vibration. So we're all on that specific in this world and on whatever frequency it is that we all operate on. But I'm assuming we all share the same space. That makes kind of sense that you'd be able to communicate if you understood and you knew how to do it. Even like you were saying earlier, like with the Celestine Prophecy, or like with trees and plants and everything's alive. So I mean, it would make sense that you should be able to somehow communicate.
Absolutely. It really is. The principles we teach in animal communication are based on talking with animals, but what we are really doing is we're engaging with the spirit that is in all life. So the same principles apply to trees, plants, land, landscape, mountains, rivers, the consciousness, the greater essence, this life force that indigenous cultures have engaged with and interacted with proactively for eons. I wanted to just come back a moment also with animal communication. Many people especially come to animal communicators to help them with transitions, so at death, to help their animals in a peaceful passage, but also to be able to speak with them clearly when they're in the afterlife. So, of course, the communication with spirit means that we can speak with departed beings purely in their spirit body when they're on the other side. Yeah.
Oh, so you do like a mediumship, like animal mediumship. But I mean, you can do this with humans as well, right? I mean,
yes, I'm not particularly open to humans. So many people have, we're kind of all built differently. Like you have your different things that you love and that you engage with. What really lights me up is working with people and their animals and developing and deepening their relationships, really bringing more joy, harmony, connection, understanding, communication into the equation, and realizing, wow, this is an incredible, wise, thinking, feeling being. And so it's not just this being's got personality, but this being has soul, and how far the depth of that wisdom goes. So many people also find through animal communication that they can connect with this deeper essence of soul in their animals that is offering us guidance and wisdom into our own lives and how to be happier, how to resolve issues, how to really live a good life. Yeah.
I must say, I was
just talk closer to your microphone, because I think Kate, am I also as soft as Lee, or is it?
No, you guys are both great. Yeah.
Yeah. So something came to mind, and it's look, I don't know if this has got anything really to do with it, but some time back, my wife and I went across to one of these nature reserves, but it didn't have any like lions and cheetah and that kind of stuff. So you could walk around. I mean, it had buck and giraffe and what. But the feeling was very different. And it's not, like if you're coming across a buck or wildebeest or whatever that is, there's a very different energy in amongst these animals, wild animals. I'm talking about wild animals now. It's almost like an overpowering, how do I explain it? Like if you with your dog, it's like almost like one of you. It's like a family member. But when you're out there, it's very, very different. It's a very overpowering energy. It feels very strong. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but I don't know. Is that normal? Is that a normal thing?
Absolutely. I love it that you brought that up. This is a whole nother part of animal communication. So we have our domestic relationships, which involve a lot of relationship, practical things. We train and socialize them, they train and socialize us in return. And with wildlife, the relationship is quite different. And so this is again where we actually move more into this soul communication of what messages these animals are bringing to us. And so animals and wildlife, there is a deep, much more peaceful consciousness that is happening. But don't get me wrong, animals are going through all of their own, how do you say, dramas. When you really study animal behavior, they're losing babies, they're fighting for survival, they're finding food, claiming territories, finding mates, all of these things, but they are existing in a very different vibrational plane that is very, very peaceful. And in that sharing that field with them, many humans find deep peace and healing. But also we can tune into the greater consciousness. And now this might be the collective consciousness of a species that offers us guidance and insight. And that here we're going again into indigenous cultural belief systems around what we might call power animals, medicine animals. We look at every culture across the world, and the shamans and the kings and queens always have animals on their shoulders in their emblems as representing basically spiritual power that they are imbued with, through the relationship with those animals.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
So the animals, like, is it true that they take on like your negative energy? Because like sometimes I walk into a house and the cat's like the cat has cancer, and I'm thinking, Jesus, is owner just feeding it badly, or is this owner so like got so much negative toxicity it's killing the cat because it's taking on all of its negativity? Now the cat's got cancer. So what is that? Is that a thing?
It absolutely is a thing. And some animals, but the thing is, humans also take on other people's energy all the time. Okay. And so sometimes why would an animal take on energy? Well, it might just be so overwhelming, and you must realize our animals are in the home with us. We're determining their movement, essentially. B, they love us, so they want to help us. And we do the same thing with our loved ones. We often take on their burdens, their stress, their upsets. And they want to help us, or they want to take, lighten the load basically for us and be healers along the journey. And so we can also take on their stress and trauma equally from the animals. And I think that's important, just highlighting that, so that it's more about that everyone lives a responsible life where we take care of ourselves, where stress is often only absorbed by others when we sit in it, when we get stuck in it, when it stays chronic. Stress is part of, and unhappiness are part of life, but when they move through the system and they create change and learning and growth, rather than getting stuck, that creates illness, essentially. Yeah.
There was a story I read some time back, because we've been doing some weird and wonderful things on the podcast, and I remember reading the story about this lady because we were chatting about astral projection at one stage. We were talking to somebody about it, and I had read something. I think I either read it or it was on YouTube, but this lady had actually said that whenever she meditated or whenever she was doing this kind of thing, she would always have a dog nearby. So like if she was meditating in a specific section, the dog would lie by the door, or if she was in a room, he would be lying on the by a bed, whatever the situation. But she would, whenever she was meditating, when she was praying, he was nearby. And then she happened to astral project herself at one stage. It was just maybe it was a fluke thing, but she managed to get up. But she said she saw her dog there, but he was like giant. So if it was, I can't remember if it was maybe like a Labrador or whatever, but this thing in the astral world was the size of a room. It was massive, and she was a bit afraid with it. She was like, "Wow, what the hell is that?" And it said to her, "Don't worry, it's only me." And then he went on to explain to her that every time she meditated and prayed, and he was there, he learned and he grew spiritually from what she was doing. He was understanding what she was doing, and he just grew and he became her protector. So in the astral realm or whatever it is, he was like protecting her from anything that would be around at that specific time. So I don't know if that was a true story or not. I don't know, but it sounds yeah.
Absolutely. It's incredible to ask animals if we can see their soul body. I've only once, I mean, how would I say? It has happened a few times, just spontaneously in the communication. But the first time I will never forget it was with a cat. And I saw an image of this tall figure, an upright figure, taking up a whole doorway with very specific features and crystals that were in his headdress and in his crown, which I relayed to the person. And she went, and he said, his words were, "Remember." He said, "That was me." She'd had this vision 2 years before she got the cat of this figure standing in her doorway with these very specific crystals. And so through me, he told her, "That was me visiting you 2 years before I physically came into your life in a cat body."
Okay.
And he really changed her life in many wonderful, wonderful ways. Yeah.
Okay.
So is that reincarnation thing like some people, there's that whole thing you reincarnate into soul families and all of that stuff, but then sometimes they say no, that my son's reincarnated into the cat, or like, I mean, is that a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a real thing. Reincarnation is very real. It's very beautiful. Again, it's one area which I don't get much of a reading on. Some communicators do a lot of this work, and they facilitate incredible healings. For me, it just doesn't, that type of information doesn't come through very much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
because remember, like in Buddhism, they say that you kind of move on. So you start off as a rock, and then you become this and that, and you eventually work your way up to kind of human. But when you're chatting to other people with regards to reincarnation, they say you can always step. There's no moving forward and moving back. You can choose. So if you're tired of the human incarnations and you've been doing it for the past 100 times, you just think, "Geez, I need a break. I want to become a cat for a while." There you go.
Well, this is the big thing as a communicator. We don't rank life and see humans as the top of the pyramid at all. There's vast wisdom and experience in a mountain, in a lion, in a whale, in the ocean. It really, and this is the fascinating thing, is that we really are looking at who is this individual. Let's clear the slate and really experience who is this individual. So sometimes people ask me, then are animals psychic? It's like some are, some aren't. Some are here with incredible healing gifts. Others are here just to be the jokers or the lovers. Others here have incredible leadership qualities, or to be the rock in the home. We get dogs in our homes, especially animals, cats, horses, who have such different expressions of who they are, and also their karma, how their life plays out. They're on a soul journey themselves, learning, evolving, growing, changing.
Yeah, it's funny because I've had those moments as well where I look at an animal and I kind of think like, oh, is the animal wiser than me, or am I wiser than? I mean, the animal usually always seems like it's got it all figured out. It's like it's trapped now because we've trapped it. But I always wondered that, like, because it's, I'm sure the animal. Why do we have to put ourselves at the top of the whatever the hierarchy is? When I think, I'm sure this animal is way more wiser than we are. We just don't know because we can't talk to it, or most of us can't.
There we go. I mean, in my mind, every animal, every species has developed different super skills. We have really taken our super skill to create, into incredible diversity. This to physically manifest and create.
And also because we've got thumbs.
There we go. It's those thumbs.
Well, what do you actually use the thumbs for besides lifting objects and stuff?
Creative stuff.
You don't need it spiritually.
You can cook.
What about it's not thumbs? What about guys with no thumbs?
I almost said pick your nose, but I don't think you pick your nose with a thumb. Jeez, that would be quite a thing.
Yeah.
But every species has got these superpowers, actually, where they have, developed some aspect of their physicality to, how do you say, to survive, to thrive within ecosystems.
Yeah, I must say, look, with my animals, my dogs, they're exactly like children. People like they look at me and they say, you can't make the distinction. You don't have kids, you don't know. And I say, well, I actually do, because my family members have all got kids. I know how they are. But my dogs, each and every one of them, have got such a completely different attitude, just different. They're like kids.
Come on, Lee. You can say it. You hear a different voice in your head from each of them.
Yeah, you do. But I promise you, they're like just absolute children.
Kate, you must see this picture that he sent me with the dogs on his bed, right? They're like, what dogs are they? Huge. They're like, what are they?
German Shepherds.
German Shepherds. There's these huge German Shepherds. He's got a picture of on the bed. He's got his girlfriend lying there, and then there's all these dogs.
Yeah, but don't let my wife say girlfriend.
Oh, your wife, sorry. Oh, wow. Because you don't have,
she says to me, who the hell is this girl that you got there?
Sorry. And then there's these 5 dogs, and there's no space for Lee on the bed. There's and they all sleep in the bed together. So he drew this stick man where he's supposed to be lying. Actually, send me the picture, and we'll put it up on the show. They're
in our face all the time, in your bed, everywhere. But that's cool. I'm happy with that.
So
this is just the reality. We live with animals in our homes now, in these really close familial relationships, essentially. Children's, for some, their animals take on parental roles. When you have those really solid caretaking, mothering figures, they take on the roles of aunties and uncles, of childminders and child carers. But so many animals where they have a devoted role to the care and raising of the children. And that doesn't mean just, being physically present and teaching them about love. The way I see it is they're infusing us with also their soulful wisdom. So many people in their quiet moments, you'll be sitting with your animals when, you're soul searching or you're looking to answer life's problems, and you feel a restfulness or a peace come over you, and the answers start coming to you inside of yourself. This was fascinating for me when I learned animal communication, is I started being able to distinguish, what was my inner voice, that was coming through more strongly because I was in a relaxed space, I was being loved, cared for with my animal, and what was actually the voice of my animal speaking to me and helping me work out life's difficulties.
So, okay, just your first time you learned how to do this, because I've done so many of these practice psychic things, and I try for 3 months straight. I give it everything, but then after 3-4 months, and trying every day, I'm just like, oh, this is not working, and I give up. So like, how did you go about it, and like, how does the breakthrough? And then, I mean, it must have been profound. I mean, if you've never done that before, and you suddenly it worked. I mean, it must have been the most profound thing ever. I mean, I can't believe. I mean, I wish for an experience like that because it would be so amazing.
It is, and that's why I do recommend to people if they really want to learn, there are many ways to go about it. A, go to an animal communicator, and then what you get is you get affirmation for your own intuitions about your animals, okay? Because they will relay to you information that they could not have known otherwise by talking to your animal, okay? That starts really breaking through our own, how do you say, barriers to believing this stuff.
Yeah.
B is do a workshop, online or live, but some online things don't offer you the option of actually talking with other people's animals. At a live workshop or an online workshop, when you can actually talk with other animals, that is an incredible experience because you then have zero information, that in your mind, but yet you get given a picture and you can have a conversation with an animal. And we start with the basics, getting to know you. What's the animal's personality like? What does their environment look like? What makes them happy? What turns them on? What's their role in the home? What's their purpose in life? And then being able to speak that back to the animal's person and actually get affirmation and confirmation for what you picked up is pretty mind-blowing stuff. At my first workshop that I ever attended, I don't remember, I was wowed by it, but I can't actually remember. I spoke to a chicken and she told me how good it felt to pop an egg out. Okay.
Not us, because Eve ate that bloody apple, and now you poor women are suffering.
So, I mean, I couldn't have made that up. You know what I mean? I was just sitting trying to have a conversation with this chicken. But
Did you relay I mean, do you have children?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, yeah. So I was about to say, I just imagine that you had to tell her about popping an egg.
Comparison, yeah. Anyway, so my next workshop, I certainly started having more experiences. And I remember hearing this cat in his really bluesy, jazzy tone, like, hey, baby, it feels so good to dance with me. And, I got these images of him and his person dancing, and that's exactly what they love to do together. So that was pretty wow. And, as things progressed and I spoke with more animals and I gave it more time, I really started having whack experiences where you see fully what the inside of an animal's home looks like through their eyes by telepathically connecting with them.
But wait, so you just on a workshop? I mean, obviously give you some like meditations or like some practices or some exercises that you have to do every day. I mean, how long did it take you? I mean, is everyone successful? Because I've gone to so many of these workshops and it seems like I'm the only one that never has the experiences, and I feel like maybe I'm just doomed. But I did have one interesting experience by myself, like which was not on a thing, and that's what's kept me going all of these years to say like, oh, there is something, but I can never get it back, and I just like, but sorry.
Well, I think you have a love for animals, so chances are doing an animal communication workshop, you will have a breakthrough because you have a natural love and affinity for animals. And what we're not doing a psychic reading, we are doing direct telepathy. So it's a conscious two-way conversation that's happening. So for example, in my workshops, I'll always start with an animal who loves people and who wants to teach. So they really want to talk, because you might get another dog who's like, this is a bit awkward.
Chinese to you.
You know what? Can't we just go play ball? Like, that's all I want to do right now. So like, no jokes, my dog, who has been an incredible teacher, a brilliant teacher for 10 years, started getting to a place where he'd always be the intro dog, where I could feel he's like, nah, Kate, I've had enough now. Like other dogs need to take over. And I was like, oh, please, won't you just teach
Tired of talking.
one?
Tired of
Won't you
talking.
just teach one more? He's like, I'm tired. I'm
Did you
done.
get the female dog? And she's like, I don't know, I'm just joking.
No, and so literally, my dog told people, he was like, can't we just go to the beach? It's like, here we go again.
But now you communicating telepathy with him, or are you communicating verbally?
A bit of both. So if I'm at home, it might just be in my mind. I might be talking out loud as well.
Because I've tried it sometimes, some time back. I tried to call one of my dogs telepathically. I'm like, nothing happened. I was like, it's like
Well,
no
so
go.
it's important to realize, like a new language, you need to build your muscle for it, both in the sending out, that you are a clear sender, and also that your dogs get used to it, that the animals in your home are used to it. And then, very important rule, just because we are talking telepathically does not mean that we can suddenly tell animals what to do or they're going to answer us immediately. It's like, just because you speak English or the same language to your wife, children, spouse, cousin, best friend, doesn't mean they're going to do exactly as you ask or tell
So
them.
you can't be like, okay, Birdie, like I'm talking to you now, just open your wings up now so you can hear that I'm talking to you, and then it'll be like, geez, that would be amazing.
Well, you can always try. Hey, like, this is the thing. Anything is possible in this realm. So please, and you might get a bird with a really good sense of humor.
And he just poops instead of opening his wings. He's like, take that.
I must say, look, dogs, as far as I know, seem to operate on a very different level. We breed German Shepherds. So one of our customers from Joburg, she took one of our males. This is going back a few years ago. Bit of a sad story. And the couple that took the dog, puppy, they had a 6-month-old child. Okay. And the two of them were like inseparable, the dog and the child. They were like inseparable. And I think, I stand to be corrected, but I think when the child got to about 1 or 1.5, I think it was about there. The mom, the child's room was next door, and obviously the mom was sleeping, and the dog at this time was barking at the door because it was outside the child's room. It was barking at the door, try to get in, and then the mom left it, and then the dog kept going on. Eventually, the mom got up like, "What the hell what's the problem?" And she opened up the door, and when she went in, the child had stopped breathing.
Yeah.
And he picked up on that, and she rushed into the hospital, and luckily she did then, because the child managed to survive. But look, the dog died a few years later, but he saved that child.
It's life. So this is animals become deeply in tune with their people. And I also had a beautiful, I mean, how's this for? It was a little rescue Boston Terrier. And I think he was already 1 or maybe 2 years old, and he'd been used as a bait dog, so pretty traumatized. And in his foster home, he wasn't getting on so well with the others. And this is why, and she actually ran a rescue organization. She asked me to communicate with him. And we did a number of things, but one of the things that came up is he kept saying, a special family is going to adopt me. Anyway, so she took note of this, and within it was a week or two, a very special family came, and the boy had hemophilia. So, but the mother and him had fallen in love with this little dog's photo. Now, in normal conditions, she would nowhere she would have said to a doggy that's been used as a bait dog that has some aggression issues would go to a home with a child with hemophilia. But because of the message, a special family is going to come my way, she trusted a much deeper sense that there is something here. That dog became the boy's lifesaver, his shadow, his everything. He would follow the boy around the pool, making sure that he didn't slip or fall anywhere. He would alert the mom 2 minutes before the boy woke up, because he often had terrors when he woke up alone. So the dog would make sure the mom was there every single time the boy woke up from his sleep, from a nap, from everything. And this is the power of animal communication, where we really tap into a much deeper knowing that is actually existing within all of us, and we bring it to consciousness, and it illuminates our lives, that we can find connections, we can create peace in relationships, and we can truly evolve our souls as they wish to evolve to their full potential.
Wow, that's incredible. What an incredible story, huh? Jeez. So they're also psychic. So the animals are also psychic then?
Many of them, like I was saying, some of them, that same family, actually, the one dog was extremely psychic. She predicted a number of events in her person's life. The full story is on my website. I would actually be finding myself at my lunch break going, like I'm about to eat, I'm going, oh, Nala is coming in. And I'd put my fork down and I would phone her person and say, okay, I got your dog on the line. She's got some messages for you. And
Oh, wow.
Yolanda would also literally drop everything to receive the messages, because they helped her navigate a very, very difficult time of her life profoundly. If I asked any of the other 3 dogs in her pack, what do you guys think? They would be like,
I'm going to the beach.
I don't know, like ask Nala,
Yeah.
She's the queen.
Yeah.
She's the one in charge. So this is where I love it, is that they're unique. But well, I wanted to come back to your question about learning communication. So yes, in a workshop, you're going to be guided and directed. A teacher, like I'm going to teach you, we're going to do different meditations to really get into a focused, aware, peaceful, present state, to clear out any misconceptions or blocks or fears that are holding you back to what's happening, and to really set you up for success, that you can have those experiences, to learn what is the feeling inside of me when this happens. Because ultimately, for any type of psychic intuitive experience, it's not about the what is happening on the outer realm. It's knowing, how does this feel inside of me? Because that's where the inner sensing is happening.
Totally.
And how do I get there? Yeah.
That's where all your subconscious is. Because that's why with that's Vipassana meditation, and also quickening with the subconscious in the Rosicrucian tradition, that teach you got to feel, you do body scans, and you're feeling everything in your body, from your toes up to your head and back down and up to your head, and you're feeling every sensation. And that's quickening of the subconscious, because that's your subconscious, because your subconscious is alert 100% of the time, all the time, with every sensation in your body all the time, but you don't pay attention to it, because you are only if that's really telling you, like, there's pain here, then you will pay attention to it. But if you immersed in it all the time, you can feel where all of that trouble's coming from, and why you're feeling upset about something, or if something's going to happen, there's a feeling that starts in your body because of your subconscious. I mean, that's what I've...
Yeah, that's right.
That's what's true,
yeah. Yeah, it is true.
So...
Yeah, I do a healing method called trust technique with animals, where as the practitioner, I'm training animals and humans actually in mindfulness, by bringing our attention back to the body, to the physical body only. Because when we are fully present with the physical body, we're fully in the present moment. We can't be in the past or the future. And therefore, that's where we have that 0 point capacity for absolutely letting go of past events, past stress, past trauma.
Oh. Yeah. So how much is this course? How long is it? How long does it take?
I like to teach a 2-day workshop in person.
Okay, nice and quick.
Yeah,
okay.
I am looking at doing, and that's for intro level, but that gives you all the basics you need. And then if you do future and further workshops, or other workshops with other teachers, it's about every conversation with an animal is really the lesson. I have many people who like to come back for workshops because it is just so damn awesome talking with animals. And as your muscles and your kind of inner gears get used to it, it becomes really easy and flowing and actually energizing as well. Yeah.
And how do people get hold of you?
My website's just katemuller.coza. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm looking at doing another online intro course next year.
Okay. And cost, Kate?
Cost, a weekend workshop is generally around 3,000 Rand, and a consult is 1,600 at the moment. Yeah.
Okay.
That's of this date and October 2025.
Yes.
Anybody listening to this in 2 years' time, it's probably gone up.
And then I also run retreats. So next year I've got 3 beautiful walking safaris in the bush to deeply commune and connect with the wisdom of nature and the wild animals. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Jeez.
Guess which one William's going on?
Right.
Out into the bush.
Full immersion.
Yeah.
No, that sounds great. Sorry for you, Lee. You're gonna have to catch a plane ticket here. So it's double for you. No, just
Yeah. No, cool. No, awesome, Kate. It's been really, really fantastic talking to you. And thank you so much for taking your time out and coming onto our show.
Yeah, thanks, Kate.
Yeah.
It was wonderful.
My pleasure. Anytime. I love talking about this, and there's so many conversations to be had also about animal communication and what's possible.
Maybe we can, one of the days, I don't know, one of the podcasts we could, I don't know how kind of mixed up you are in this, but animals on the astral realm.
So you mean animals of spirit?
Yeah. So maybe we can have another topic on that. So if you're keen to talk about that, I'd be happy to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then after I've taken the course, we'll have another one, and then or we'll bring you on. You can talk about that, and then the course, and then also after I've talked about time and space with a chameleon.
Oh, there we go.
We can talk about that too.
You must remember these questions. These are good questions, William. And no jokes, you can get profound answers. You're tuning in to a vast consciousness when we start talking to animals. Truly, we're tuning in.
We actually know nothing. We think we the top of the rung, but we actually know it yet.
Yeah,
we're so
we're
far
just good at fighting.
Yeah. So, William, are you in Cape Town?
Yes.
Well, I would generally have a workshop in March in Cape Town at the beginning of each year. Yeah.
Okay, so it's only how many? Is only one a year?
I teach in Cape Town, yes, because I live in Knysna. Yeah.
Oh, you live in Knysna. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, March. Okay, well, geez, that's like a long way away, but
not really. It's only a couple of months.
Yeah. It's Christmas and then it'll be March. Yeah.
It's like 4 months away. It's like almost half a year. 5 months away. To come to Knysna. You have one every month in Knysna or what?
No, also like once or twice a year here. And I used to teach like once or twice a year in Cape Town as well.
Okay. So it's not online course or,
I do some online courses from time to time. And then there's the retreats and the individual consulting. So, yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, awesome. Okay, well, thanks so much, man.
Great. It's been awesome.
See you in March.
Thanks, Kate. Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
Cheers.
Bye.
Cheers. Nice, man.
Okay, cool, man.
So you're going on the March retreat. Tell me how it goes.
Yeah. So I say I hope I don't have a job over that time, but then I don't want to curse my work and then I don't get money over that time to pay for the course. It's like it's a catch-22. It's either I don't have the job and I can go to the course, but I can't pay for it, or I get the job, so I get the money, so I can pay for it, but now I can't go to it because I'm on the job.
Yeah, shit. Well, anyway, guys and girls, thank you very much for listening tonight. That's the end of our session. Next week, we've got something lined up. We'll chat to you then. Well, thanks, buddy.
Actually, it's in March, so I've got like enough time to save up. So then if I don't have a job, I can still pay for it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. Sweet Lee.
Cheers, man.
Cheers, guys. All right.